For the last week, I've been driving an Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme, another of General Motors' smaller mid-sized cars. Like its corporate sisters, Buick Regal, Chevy Monte Carlo, and Pontiac Grand Prix, the Cutlass Supreme is more than a foot shorter and over 650 pounds lighter than last year's models. Styling on the Cutlass Supreme, also like its corporate sisters, is extremely reminiscent of Cadillac Seville. Paint on our test car was generally good, but there were some sloppy areas, particularly on and around the accent striping. Cutlass trunk space this year, because of a Space Saver spare, remains unchanged. We did think, though, that the trunk lid has been made a bit flimsy. Despite its smaller outside dimensions, Cutlass offers an interior with more head and leg room than last year's model. Hip and shoulder room, though, are decreased, as in all of GM's new mid-sized cars. We found interior fits to be quite good, and the sound of the Delco stereo was excellent. I'm no mechanic, but it sounded at times like the starter on our test car was dragging. Cutlass Supreme has always handled well, but this year's downsized model is even more maneuverable in traffic. Steering is quick and the suspension is on the firm side. Generally, GM has managed to retain most of Cutlass Supreme's riding qualities. But although our test car kept outside noises out, it did have several of its own noises in the form of intermittent interior rattles. As for Oldsmobile's 260 V8 engine, we think it's a winner for the Cutlass model. Ours wasn't perfect. It knocked slightly on unleaded fuel, hesitated intermittently, and had an unusual ticking sound on acceleration. But the mileage it delivered was, in my opinion, phenomenal. 17 miles to the gallon in a test of approximately 2/3 city driving and 1/3 highway driving with full-time use of the air conditioner. That is the best V8 mileage we've recorded in 4 years of testing cars. And there is no trade-off in performance. Acceleration was more than adequate. Base price of an Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme is $5,201, including freight. Our test car, nicely equipped, listed at $77,667. Next week, the imported Ford Fiesta. Ralph?